to the board, fellow SCF members, staff, and friends. I don't have much time, so I got to get moving. When Rosalind Brock taps you on the shoulder and says, I need you to help out in the morning, you just get ready to go and just let her point you in the direction. I ain't going to say don't ask her, she's going to point you anyway. So she points you in the right direction. So really, she only gave me about 3 minutes to speak to you today, so I got to make this kind of quick. So if I talk fast, just remember that. You know, I only have 2 things to say. One is that when it comes to leadership, and that's what this whole conference is about, that truly one person can make a difference, okay? Truly, one person can make a difference. The second thing I want to leave you with today is to remember the story of the Lion King, all right? So those are the only 2 things I want. 1, that one person can make a difference. 2, to remember the story of the Lion King. As it relates to leadership, I like to look at what one of my favorite philosophers of all time, Dr. Martin Luther King, used to say, that the ultimate measure of a person is not where you stand at times of comfort and convenience, but where you stand in times of challenge and controversy. And as future leaders, if you don't know that, if you don't understand that yet, trust me, you will, because if you are a leader, controversy will find you. And you will have to show what you're made out of and where you stand. He also said that everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. Your subject does not have to agree with your verb. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love, and you can be a servant, okay? So when it comes to leadership and people ask you about what do you need to be a great speaker, you need to tell people what to do, you need to take charge. Make sure that your soul is right. Make sure that your heart is right. If you get those things right, people will follow you, and that's what being a leader is all about. People ask me a lot of times, I mentioned AstraZeneca, our sponsor. It's tough sometimes going to organizations to get sponsorship, especially in today's budget climate. It's hard standing up for people in these organizations sometimes because there's not enough money to go around. People will snipe at them from inside the corporate boardroom, especially organizations of color. They don't know much about them. They don't have a history of giving to them. They think maybe it's a little bit frightening to be involved because they're a little outside. They play a little bit outside of the boundaries. I don't know, y'all might never have run into that, but I've run into it once or twice. So people ask me, how do you continue to be a corporate agitator? How do you continue to be a corporate? Well, because I decided a long time ago I was not going to be the corporate spook by the door, keeping everybody else from getting in. And you have to make that decision early. When you come from corporate America, you got to make that decision. They have to see it in your eyes. I'm here to ask for support for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People without apology. That group that got me my job. That group that took my mama off her knees. That's the group that I'm here to support. And when they see you look at that and you say, and it is also good for business to be involved with an organization like this who makes this country better in the eyes of the world. And when you talk about one people making a difference, I'm going to tell you something quick because I ain't got but about 1.5 minutes left. So I just wanted to tell you that there was a guy named Nelson Mandela. Any of y'all remember Nelson Mandela? Nelson Mandela, a little bitty guy over in Africa, guy credited with helping to bring down apartheid in South Africa, one of the evil and most ruthless regimes in the history of the world. And then there's a guy named Dr. Leon Sullivan. Any of you ever hear Dr. Leon Sullivan? The Lion of Zion. Reverend Sullivan, when I was growing up, Reverend Sullivan, for those of you who don't know, was the first African-American member of a corporate board. And see, when I was coming up in the 60s, and I was a Stokely Carmichael guy. I was, let's burn some stuff up, let's get out in the street, let's hit it, let's tear the place down. I saw Dr. Sullivan get this job in the board of General Motors. So the first thing I wanted to do was say he must be an Uncle Tom. He gonna sell out to the man, go to work on this board. I didn't know he wasn't burning nothing up. I didn't hear him talking crazy to people. And then 24 years later, I met Reverend Sullivan on a plane going to Africa. And he told me something that I didn't know. So you young lionesses and tigers out in the crowd, just understand. I know the old people don't look like they moving as fast, but listen to the story. I know their hair might be gray and they might do all that old-fashioned stuff like marching and protesting, and we don't do that no more, and we on Facebook and twitting and tweeting, but just listen to their story, because I sat there and I talked to Dr. Sullivan, who is the only man in Africa that has more statues built for him